Hey, Raiders Nation. Welcome back as we dive deep into everything happening with our silver and black. The offseason is heating up, and the speculation surrounding the head coaching position is only getting louder. Right now, the biggest question on everyone's mind is whether the Raiders are going to part ways with Pete Carroll. Rumors have been swirling nonstop, and while nothing is official yet, all signs point to a significant change coming. From multiple conversations and insider chatter, it seems likely that the Raiders will be moving in a new direction. Last season gave us a glimpse of the organizational unpredictability, and fans are understandably anxious about how management will handle this transition. Hopefully, the team avoids making any questionable public moves, because the optics of bringing someone in for a press conference only to dismiss them shortly after would not sit well with the fan base. Although we are still waiting on official confirmation, the chatter around town suggests that Pete Carroll will not be leading this team in 2026. Every rumor, every source, every little piece of intel seems to converge on the same conclusion. The Raiders are planning to bring in fresh leadership. And while the name Pete Carroll dominates headlines, other key discussions have emerged regarding potential candidates to take the reins. Brian Flores, currently the defensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings, is one of the top names being considered. Flores has built a reputation as a sharp defensive mind capable of orchestrating aggressive schemes and producing high-pressure units. Pairing him with someone like Brian Daboll, who made a significant impact developing quarterbacks during his time with the Buffalo Bills and the New York Giants, could provide a balanced approach. Daboll's ability to maximize quarterback talent, particularly with someone as raw but promising as Josh Allen, demonstrates why his name keeps popping up in Raiders conversations. While Fernando Mendoza isn't Josh Allen, his potential is immense, and having an offensive coordinator of Daboll's caliber could make a real difference in harnessing that talent. Looking at this from a broader perspective, it's clear that the Raiders front office is thinking strategically. There's a strong focus on creating a coaching staff that can complement each other and help the team grow in all areas. Flores brings defensive intensity and leadership, while Daboll brings offensive acumen and the ability to develop young quarterbacks. Together, they could provide the type of synergy needed to build a well-rounded team. The confirmed list of coaching candidates includes Flores, Jessim Terror from the Chargers, and Robert Saleh from the 49ers, all defensive-minded coaches who could potentially transform the silver and black into a more competitive force. The fact that conversations are already happening behind closed doors indicates the Raiders are not waiting around. They are ready to act quickly to secure the leadership they believe can turn this team around. Shifting gears slightly, the NFL draft scenario is another hot topic for Raiders fans. Thanks to a crucial win over the Kansas City Chiefs, the Raiders hold the number 1 overall pick, but it comes with some trade-offs in the later rounds. Because of the win, the team does not have first choice in every round, which slightly limits options for maneuvering through the draft. In round 2, the Raiders pick 36th, in round 3, 67th, and the selections continue rotating in a similar pattern. While some might see this as a disadvantage, savvy management can still leverage these picks to strengthen key positions and build a solid roster. Considering the number 1 overall pick and the roster's existing strengths, there's a real opportunity to address multiple needs while setting up the team for long-term success. Looking ahead to 2026, the Raiders' schedule promises to be challenging but exciting. Home matchups include tough opponents like the Buffalo Bills and Miami Dolphins, while divisional games against the Chiefs, Chargers, and Broncos will always test the team's resolve. Road games against the Patriots, Jets, 49ers, and other notable teams will require focus and consistency. While some may argue that the home games are tougher than the away matchups, the NFL is unpredictable, and any team can turn the tables on any given day. Evaluating these games now provides a glimpse into what the Raiders will face, but the real story will unfold on the field as the season progresses and the young talent begins to mesh with the coaching staff. The potential hiring of Flores and Daboll also ties directly into roster development and the team's strategic outlook. A young quarterback like Mendoza benefits from having experienced mentors guiding him, particularly on both sides of the ball. Defensive scheming from Flores, combined with offensive expertise from Dable, could accelerate his growth and help the Raiders capitalize on the talent they have drafted. Meanwhile, with 10 total draft picks to work with, including the top overall selection, the team has the ability to reinforce weaknesses across the roster, making this offseason a pivotal one for shaping the future trajectory of the franchise. The combination of smart draft strategy, a new coaching staff, and a young quarterback under development creates a sense of cautious optimism for fans who have been waiting for this kind of structural shift. While we continue to await official announcements about the head coach, the larger picture reveals a team on the move. The Raiders are actively considering elite coaching talent, preparing to make critical roster decisions, and working within a salary cap framework that allows for flexibility in shaping the team. Veteran players, emerging stars, and draft prospects all contribute to a dynamic mix that management must navigate carefully. It's a delicate balance, but the potential payoff is enormous if the right pieces are aligned. Raiders fans should pay attention to these developments because the decisions made in this offseason could determine whether the silver and black remain competitive in the coming years or face another rebuilding period. Every headline, every rumor, and every strategic conversation adds context to what could be a transformative offseason for the franchise. From coaching speculation to draft strategies, to game planning against some of the toughest teams in the league, the Raiders are positioned at a crossroads. It's an exciting and tense time, filled with opportunities to make bold moves that could set the team on a path toward sustained success. Fans are watching closely, discussions are happening behind closed doors, and the next steps taken by the front office will likely define the tone for years to come. As we move deeper into the offseason, Raiders fans are watching every development with anticipation because the changes underway could redefine the team's identity. With Pete Carroll likely on his way out, attention is shifting to how quickly the front office can lock in a new head coach who will set the tone for 2026 and beyond. Leadership at the top is critical, not just for game planning, but for instilling a culture of accountability and growth. Brian Flores brings an aggressive mindset on defense, capable of pressuring opposing quarterbacks and creating turnovers that can shift entire games. Pairing him with someone like Brian Dable, whose offensive vision has helped quarterbacks maximize their potential, could provide the Raiders with balance and clarity. It's not just about one side of the ball. It's about creating a cohesive unit where coaching and talent align. The synergy between these two coaches, if it comes to fruition, could be exactly what the silver and black need to move from promising to competitive. Meanwhile, the draft remains a central storyline for Raiders Nation. Holding the number 1 overall pick gives the team the opportunity to shape the future with a franchise quarterback, potentially Fernando Mendoza, who has already generated buzz for his skill set and leadership potential. But the draft is more than just the top pick. With 10 selections spread across all rounds, the Raiders have multiple opportunities to address gaps in the roster. Whether it's bolstering the offensive line, adding depth at wide receiver, or shoring up the defensive front, these picks can turn into immediate contributors or strategic assets for trades. The strategic use of these selections, combined with free agency moves, could make this offseason one of the most impactful in recent franchise history. Smart management here could prevent a repeat of past seasons where potential went unfulfilled due to lack of depth or poor roster planning. In addition to the draft, analyzing the schedule for 2026 provides insight into what the Raiders are preparing for. Home matchups are particularly demanding, with elite teams like the Buffalo Bills and Miami Dolphins visiting Allegiant Stadium. Divisional games against the Chiefs, Chargers, and Broncos remain pivotal, as these contests often determine playoff positioning. Road games, while slightly more favorable, still carry challenges with matchups against the Patriots, Jets, 49ers, and others. Each of these games will test the adaptability and preparation of both the coaching staff and the players. The Raiders have the chance to establish a competitive rhythm early in the season, but it will require consistent performance, disciplined execution, and a mindset that embraces both adversity and opportunity. The potential coaching duo of Flores and Dable also highlights a broader strategy around player development. Mendoza's growth, combined with mentorship from experienced coaches, could accelerate his transition to the professional level. On defense, Flores has shown an ability to adapt schemes to fit his personnel, which means he can maximize the talents of players like Max Crosby, who already stands out as a defensive anchor. Meanwhile, Dable's track record in developing quarterbacks suggests he could help Mendoza translate raw athleticism into efficient, high-level performance on game day. This holistic approach, blending coaching expertise with promising talent, has the potential to turn the Raiders into a well-rounded and competitive squad. Beyond the internal development, Raiders fans are also keeping an eye on the league-wide coaching carousel. Recent firings of coaches like Kevin Stefanski and Raheem Morris have opened additional opportunities elsewhere, which indirectly affects the Raiders' leverage in negotiations. With multiple teams searching for leadership, the Raiders' combination of a top draft pick, established salary cap space, and a roster with foundational stars makes the job particularly appealing. This leverage allows management to be selective, prioritizing candidates who align with the vision for both immediate improvement and long-term sustainability. It also signals to fans that the organization is serious about creating a winning culture rather than making rush decisions based solely on headline value. The interplay between coaching, roster moves, and draft strategy cannot be understated. A young quarterback with a strong offensive coordinator, paired with a defensively aggressive head coach, creates a foundation capable of competing in one of the most challenging divisions in football. Each decision in this offseason, from which free agents to target to how to structure training and preseason preparation, has a cascading effect on the season ahead. The front office's ability to coordinate these elements efficiently will be critical, and fans are watching closely to see if management can deliver a cohesive and forward-thinking plan. On a broader scale, the Raiders' position in the league provides a unique advantage. While other teams face salary cap limitations or lack clear paths to elite talent, the Silver and Black have both the draft capital and flexibility to act decisively. Securing the right coaching staff, nurturing emerging talent, and making shrewd acquisitions could allow the Raiders to transform from a team with potential to one that is a consistent playoff contender. Every rumor, every piece of insider information, and every move in free agency contributes to a picture that is still coming into focus, but the trajectory appears promising. The pressure to act quickly, however, is undeniable. NFL teams cannot afford delays in the offseason without risking falling behind competitors. Every day spent without a finalized coaching staff, without resolved draft strategy, and without targeted free agent acquisitions can have ripple effects. Fans are eager, understandably so, because each piece of this complex puzzle, head coach, coordinators, draft picks, free agents, will define the Raiders' competitiveness for the next several seasons. The potential is there, the framework is in place, and all that remains is execution. As the Silver and Black move through this critical period, the excitement among fans is palpable. The prospect of a new coaching philosophy, the anticipation of the draft, the strategy behind roster development, and the overarching plan to make this team a legitimate contender all create a narrative filled with opportunity and expectation. Raiders Nation is ready for change, ready for growth, and ready to witness the team chart a new course. The combination of young talent, strategic hires, and calculated roster moves could mark the beginning of a revitalized era. Fans are already imagining what the team will look like on the field, how the season will unfold, and how the next chapter in Raiders history will be written. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. What began as an offhand remark has quickly turned into one of the most discussed whispers around the league. According to people close to the situation, the Chiefs head coach delivered a surprisingly strong assessment of the Raiders that blended sharp criticism with reluctant admiration, leaving executives, players, and fans reading between the lines. Officially, nothing was framed as controversy, but the tone and choice of words were enough to ignite speculation about deeper tensions brewing behind the scenes. On one hand, the coach reportedly questioned the Raiders' consistency in decision-making, suggesting that their identity has been unstable and that they too often rely on emotion rather than structure. Those comments, while never directly inflammatory, were interpreted by some as a calculated jab, the kind meant to undermine confidence without crossing disciplinary lines. Observers noted that the critique sounded less like routine rivalry talk and more like a seasoned strategist pointing out vulnerabilities he believes still linger. Yet the same statement also carried unexpected praise. The coach is said to have acknowledged the Raiders' physicality, resilience, and ability to disrupt even the most disciplined game plans. Sources describe him highlighting their defensive intensity and the way certain players elevate their performance in high-pressure moments. That duality, criticizing the system while applauding the spirit, has fueled rumors that the Chiefs staff sees the Raiders as a far more dangerous opponent than the standings or public narratives might suggest. Around the league, the reaction has been mixed. Some insiders believe the comments were intentional psychological gamesmanship, a way to motivate his own roster while subtly challenging the opposition. Others think it reflects genuine respect, masked by competitive disdain, the hallmark of a rivalry that refuses to cool down. Raiders supporters, meanwhile, have seized on the positive remarks as validation, while bristling at what they view as condescension. Whether the statement was strategic, emotional, or simply honest remains unclear. What is certain is that it has added another layer of intrigue to an already charged rivalry, reminding everyone that in this league, words can matter almost as much as plays on the field. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.